My family is very mixed. I have very Hasidic couples, modern Hasidic, open-minded, working Litvish, Dati, Lumi, well, plus ones at home who vary from modern to Hasidic. We're trying to organize a family Shabbos away for a special occasion. The issue is my Dati daughter and her husband won't leave their dog for Shabbos. They have nowhere to leave her. Even if we found a place that would agree to having the dog stay outdoors in the garden, which I doubt, I have hashkafic issues. I feel that the dog will bring down the avira of our Shabbos. Some will be upset that the dog might not come because of it, and others might be more focused on the dog than the spirit of Shabbos. We don't want to alienate our daughter, who's dati, who already feels alienated. I dafka want him to have a Shabbos with us. My daughter and husband love Shabbos, so just confused what to focus on this. Let's say I find a place where we'll agree to have the dog in the garden over Shabbos. Is that what I want anyway? What does the Rebbetzin advise? I just want to say we have Baruch Hashem quite a few times. We get together, Chanukah, Chalamoed. It does work, and everyone enjoys it. It's important to have us, family, and everyone coming, but this time I can't get my head around the situation. You're not going to like what I say. Pay $500 if you have to get that dog taken care of. The feelings of your children are far more important than anything else in this picture. In Olam Haba, being makar of your own children is a far greater value than anything else. And la'at la'at, if you could get your other children to become more tolerant. It's not an isser to have a dog. Isser is something that can't be uplifted. It's not an isser. You're allowed to have a dog. Why shouldn't you have a dog if that's what you want to have? The Torah doesn't say don't have a dog. You shouldn't have a dog that's ferocious. You shouldn't have a dog that frightens people. But an ordinary dog is certainly not recommended, but it's also not usser. If something's not usser, then don't treat it like an isser. It's not straight. So if you could explain this to your children, would even consider not coming to a family Shabbos because someone has a dog, unless they're very afraid of dogs, they should understand this. And assuming that the dog somehow has to bring down the aviva of Shabbos, I don't think it has to. I think it could, but I don't think it has to. So spend the money and find a place where the dog is my eitzah. I don't think it'll cost $500. I don't even think it'll cost 500 shekels. I don't even think it'll cost 300 shekels. But I think it's possible to pay someone who likes dogs to have the dog. And I think if you ask your children who are dati to accept your gift and find a place because you love them so much that you can't have Shabbos without them, I think that would also be part of this. Accepting difference means accepting difference. It doesn't mean pretending that there are no differences. Okay. With the world going through the three dinim of Avos Yisrael, Ava means connection. The three dinim, in short, are to speak well of people. So pretend that you're dati and you find Mei Sharm threatening. They're negative, they're this, they're that, the demonstrations. But Mei Sharm is also a place that has free kitchens for the poor. Mei Sharm is also a place where if you knock on the door and say, can I have a drink, they'll invite you in for a meal. Okay? So the first thing is to speak well of whatever it is that you don't like. That doesn't mean the bad's not there, but it does mean you don't have to speak about it. If it's the other hand, you're in Mei Sharm, you see that Zionim is the enemy. They have a history of repressing all sorts of religious practice, but they also have a love of the land. Talk about that. I heard a speech, I was so moved by this, by Rabbi Warren Goldstein of South Africa. He was talking about the terrible tragedy of Simchas Torah, and he was talking about the brutality of the Hamas, how they killed a woman who was on one of the kibbutzim, who was very much their friend, so to speak, very pro-Arab, very helpful towards their cause. But he didn't say an idiotic leftist Zioni, which is what I would have been thinking, but I hope not saying. He said a compassionate woman whose compassion wasn't seen by people who could have seen it. That's what we have to aim for. The next step is, in addition to that, you give people kavod. Kavod means taking them seriously. Okay? That means eye contact. That means not walking away when they're talking. That means not viewing their values as irrelevant. Okay? So an example of that would be, again, I'll give you the two extremes. Somebody, let's say in the dati world, or even not the dati world, okay, going my home because the Yekesh world, may find Hasidic Luvush ridiculous. Like, why should you think that God wants you to wear what worked really well in Poland in the cold, in Yerushalayim in the heat? Do you underestimate God's wisdom in his not having required this? There are people I could picture saying this very easily. So look at the Hasidim, look at how they care for each other, look at the hitlavut of their tefillah. No one's telling you to wear a shtreimel, okay? And on the other side, let's say on the other side, Here in the Hasidim, look at how they dress, mamish, like the street. To them, the Rebbeinu Shalom and the designers in Paris are one and the same. Might be true to some degree, but why do you have to say that? The conventional community, our great Bali Tzedakah, they're the ones who really hold up Torah. Talk about what they take seriously. It's not just about saying the good, take them seriously. And the last is to prevent loss. You're obligated to prevent people from experiencing loss. You see somebody left their phone on their phone, what do you call a modern phone again? I forget, the word slipped out of my head. A phone, say, oh, well, he shouldn't have that phone anyway. You shouldn't have an iPhone. Good for him. Look, no, it's worth money. You find him and you get, and it's a lot of jirka to get the numbers back. You find him and get it to him. Okay? So you have to do. This isn't just thinking. You have to do the kavod. You have to tell the stories. You have to be active in helping. You have to do. What you do influences how you feel. You change from the outside in. Okay?
Can I ask a follow-up question on that?
Yes. Yes, we do.
So if we're doing the positives and like we're saying like, okay, I see like, whoa, they have such, kavod for at their body that they're dressing like so regally and so even in the winter or whatever. But is that really like actually like saying like I value the difference, or it's just saying like, okay, I see that there's positives? Like I guess I'm saying like.
So here's the difference between valuing and acknowledging positive. Valuing means this is an objective value to which I aspire, which you certainly don't have to do. But seeing the positive means that you see it's part of the whole. There are many pieces to this puzzle. This is a piece, and it's a valid piece.